Us, they hear us. It's audio check.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me pull up the YouTube.
Check.
Check these nuts.
My mic sounds nice. Talk louder, David.
I will talk louder.
Okay, we sound good. All right, you ready for this?
Oh, are you ready for this?
Steve Hash Brown in the chat saying, "I like this music." Shoutouts, dude.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to the Blue Reed Podcast, episode number 221.
Oh goddamn, we're almost at fucking 225.
225, we're getting there. I'm Adrian. This is David. This is a video game
Hell
podcast.
yeah.
We go live on Tuesdays. Talk about video games. Sometimes it seems like we just kind of, well, no, we even talk about a lot of video games. If we talk about like fighting games, we talk a lot about video games. I could feel like
Sure.
that. Yeah. Some episodes we just divert off the deep end, but this last little bit, it's been good. This light is very bright. We talk about video games a lot. We talk about random things. We do this other show called Games Gone By, Video Game Book Club. We ended up skipping it this week. I had some stuff going on here that was I feel like we bargained enough time, and I feel like I was pretty stern on that schedule, and then something very unexpected happened that took all my attention away. That was not nothing dire towards me personally, but stuff I had to take care of that took much more importance than keeping to a schedule like that. So we pushed that back by a week. We should be here back just fine next Monday. That'll be our Final Fantasy VII, so we should still be on track. Should anything change for some reason, we'll post about it, but we're good on track right now. Speaking of that, though, we're talking about Resident Evil 7 at the end of the month. Next month, we talk about Iron Lung and Silent Hill 1. And then November, we're talking near... wow, what the fuck is...
Reincarnation. No, that's the
That's the mobile one. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Why am I... Replicant.
Replicant, there we go.
Why
yeah.
I honestly... I was going to say reincarnate as well. I'm like, it's not it. Yeah, near Replicant. So we're talking near Replicant in November. Full schedule. We'll talk about that on the Games Gone By. But for now, this is Blue Rubies. We're just talking some video games for fun. And then I got a cat here. What up, dude? David.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. What you been what you been up to this week with or actually what'd you get, right? Just what we're doing?
Yeah, it's always what you got first. And what I got, where the fuck did I put it? We got Moon.
I've been wanting to get that. I feel like everyone's been telling me that I should play that at some point.
It definitely is a game I feel like very much would resonate with you, in all earnesty.
Yeah, so one day. Are you excited for MK1? Yeah, I got that shit pre-ordered actually. That was something I knocked out because I was feeling like I should do that.
I will wait until it's $20.
Yeah, David's gonna wait, which is totally cool. That's a thing. But we'll still be playing some fighting games. But yeah, I'm very excited for MK1. David, you played Moon before?
Yes, I played the fan translation of it many moons ago.
And this one was a limited run, or was it a?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a limited run that got a Amazon re-release, so it's not really a limited run.
Is it still on
anymore,
Amazon?
But yeah, still on Amazon. It's like $30 still.
Oh, I should do that.
Which this one, I jumped on it because when it was the original limited run, it spiked in price quite a bit, and then the only cheap way to get it was importing the Japanese version, which after importing all that was like $70. I was like, I don't know if I want to spend 70 on it. But then they were like, hey, surprise, here it is on Amazon Second Chance. And I'm like, all right, fuck you, I guess I'm buying it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with some of these games. I'm like, you know what? I kind of feel like I want to play it, but not enough to be like, not that much money.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because I feel like, especially because of how much they've been just saying, fuck it, throw it on Amazon again later, I feel a lot less immediate need to feel like I have to buy the limited runs, because I'm like, well, either I'll get gouged on the price later, it'll get an Asia English release and I can just get that, or wait long enough and maybe they'll throw it on Amazon. So I've kind of had a lot less incentive, honestly, at this point to worry about getting anything on limited run right away.
Which is good because I don't do anything limited run anymore.
Yeah, I think the only thing I threw down for is I did throw down for the Castlevania Game Boy Advance collection they had on there.
I don't think I see it on Amazon anymore. Let's see.
For Moon?
Yeah. Oh, how much was it again? 30, you said?
Yeah, like $30.
Yeah, it's not on there anymore.
Well,
that's fine with me. I don't need any impulse purchasing.
Sorry, just play the fan translation for PS1. Same experience.
Yeah, or I'll just do a Switch version eventually, just digital. I keep forgetting that Super Mario RPG comes out this year.
Is it this year? I thought it was next year.
Nah, it's in November.
God damn.
That's kind of one of their releases for this year, which is always throwing me off. You hearing these rumors about this Nintendo Direct?
I mean, I saw a lot of people fucking around and joking about a Nintendo Direct. I didn't know it was actually going to be a real rumor.
Yeah, so let me pull that up. Actually, we'll get that going for news, but I'll have that prepped up and ready to go. David, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. So, digitally, I don't really mention digital stuff ever, but I thought this would be kind of notable. There were some sales on Steam, so I like getting stuff for the Steam Deck. I like the idea of just having it available for me mobile, especially if it's a console game I've just not gone to, or have like, even though I like want to sit down and play it on a console, I just don't have the time. So I'm like, if it's cheap enough and I get the whole thing on Steam Deck, why not? So, for example, I got some Need for Speed games because that was on sale, but the big one is I got pretty much got the entire Dead Rising collection. 1, 2 off the record, 3 and 4, along with some DLCs for like, I think just under $40. And they all play on Steam Deck. Apparently, even though Dead Rising 3 is unsupported, people were saying even at launch it ran like a dream. So, got all that. Dead Rising has been a franchise I've been wanting to go back to. I love 2. I love 1 was good. I love 2. Never got through 3. Never even tried with 4 really. I know progressively 4 is just not as good, but I've been wanting to go back to the entire series. So that'll be a good time. And then
I've been wanting to do that too at some point, because I loved 1. I never finished 2, and I didn't bother playing any of the others, but I have them all.
Yeah, 1 is good. 2 is really good, especially if you had co-op. Co-op was a lot of fun. 2 off the record, I don't think I've played. I forget if I did or not. I did play Dead Rising. Was it Case Zero and Case West or whatever? Those are the XBLA games. Those were cute. I played those. Forgot to check if those are even on Steam. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Dead Rising, because if not, those are gonna go away with the Xbox shutting down. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I've made basically a shopping list of the 360 games that I need to start hunting down. I got like 60 of them I got to track down.
Let's see, this is on there. Yeah.
No, I lied. I have 100 of them I need to track down.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Luckily, Xbox doesn't really spike as hard.
I mean, right now it doesn't, but I decided I want to. What's killing it is I decided I wanted to go for the full Kinect collection as well. So there's a lot of shit fucking Kinect games.
Luckily, they're cheap.
A lot of them are cheap, but there's like one Japanese import that goes for a pretty penny that's Kinect only.
Rip.
And there are some standout 360 titles that are like $60-$70 for a couple of them, but luckily, currently, they're not that bad. But it is a thing that I imagine it'll slowly start to turn into like we saw with the PS3 and PSP when that was starting to go down, where a lot of them will start to spike.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so those Case West and Case Zero are going to be 2 lost in the ether. Unfortunately, hopefully those get ported. Physically, I got 2 bangers, David. So one, I got Metal Man Metal Man, Mega Man Battle Collection. Got this off the QVC thing for like $30, which was what I was looking for. Got this banger, David. I got everybody 1-2 Switch.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Got that horse guy. I want to test that with the students, so maybe I'll play. I heard that like the on paper it sounds nice. On paper it sounds like it's just Jackbox on Switch, but like I haven't looked at anything about it. But I was watching a video game last night just to get a refresher on why it was so shit, and it was like they'll do games like Bingo, which was apparently tedious. They'll do games like musical chairs. They'll say, "All right, look for chairs." I'm like, "What the fuck? What is it? What if they just don't have chairs?" Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, you just can't play that game. So, I'm thinking of test running it tomorrow in class and seeing how that goes. Um, but yeah, and then do I have anything else? I'm not gonna pull them out, but I got the One Punch Man manga, so I'm back to caught up
Hell yeah.
on the books there. I forget that
Good
we got
man.
like two more Berserks, right? We got like one more Berserk, and I think the last one, and I think that's it.
For the physical
Deluxe.
hardcover omnibuses. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
So we got like two
And then
more.
it's just a matter of waiting for all the rest of its finish.
I guess one that was like two more, and that was it. Um, but anyway, yeah. So there's that, and I think that's it. Um, yeah. David, what'd you play this week?
Hell yeah. So the only thing I've really had time to play this week is there's a free open source software version of Civ 5 called Unciv that is self-hostable. So I spent some time fucking around with that, getting that up and running,
Civ
and
is a
I have just been.
game, bro. Civ is a game. I feel like I always talk about like alternate universe me being into games like Rainbow Siege and stuff like that, and like For Honor. Um, Dial it back to like early gaming where I was like 64 and like PC where I'm like playing like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I can promise you, if I had like a more nerdy father or maybe like some like a beefier computer, I could promise you I probably would have been a Civ guy because Civ is just like is
It's
that
so easy to lose time to
it's
it.
that game that like I don't touch it that much. Don't clip that. Uh, because I know that will be a time sink. Like I know with the right kind of computer, like this guy could run it easy. But like I've heard horror stories of people saying they've run that shit for like years. Like that shit just that's a game. So it's like I just don't know if I'm willing to test the water. I know I would love it.
It's so easy to get lost down that rabbit hole. It's because it's very much just a turn takes like a second, just a couple seconds to plan out a turn. And so once you start going down that route of like, all right, I'll just play for a couple more turns. Next thing you know, that couple more turns lasts you into fucking 4 hours.
Yeah, and it especially because turns can you have to really evaluate every single aspect of your turn to a point like to an insane degree, you know? Yeah, I
I mean, if
don't
you
know.
want to, it's not a lot. Once you get used to the game enough, you already know the route you're gonna go.
Okay,
You spend more time analyzing a lot of your choices in the beginning when you're first starting out. But over time, the more and more you get used to the game, you very much go into every game basically knowing exactly what you're going for, and it's just
interesting.
next turn, next turn, next turn.
Yeah, so we'll see. I need one day I want to just jump into that, but also I don't know if I'm ready. I should say. But that's cool. You're playing Civ. What's this unciv thing?
So it's a free open source version of it. Basically, someone that didn't like some of the changes that were made to Civ 5 back in the day, wanting to make their own version of it, basically. And it's self-hostable, so I have it running off my home server, and I can just connect to it from any other device in the house and just play a few rounds off of it like that.
That's cool. What else are you been playing?
That is basically, I downloaded Ever Crisis, and I was like, I'll find some time to play that. And I was not able to find some time to play
I was
that.
gonna ask you on Saturday if you were down to play some Street Fighter because I've been itching to play Street Fighter again. It's been a little bit, but I've been just hunkering down playing some FF7 because I'm catching up still a little bit. But
Gotcha.
hope
Yeah, no, this September is a busy as fuck. I basically don't have any free time this month, really.
yeah.
I have enough time to play Resident Evil 7 guaranteed, and that is about it.
That's fair.
And FF7 I don't need to replay because I know that game like the back of my hand.
So October we're doing it. We'll get back into it. That way we can play Aki. See how that goes. She feels like a nightmare to fight. I'm looking at the way she like moves. I'm like that just looks like that's Dr. B level of shit I just don't want to deal with. All right, and let's see. What did I play? I think I've just been playing FF7 pretty much. I did boot up for someone a little to the left. I think it's called that organization game where the cat fucks up your shit.
Oh yeah.
I booted that up for someone. They didn't tell them a single thing about it. I'm like, here, you'll like this. And it was like sedating their OCD brain for a second, where there's like organizing, and then all of a sudden, it takes a little while for them to drop the cat on you. Or occasionally the cat will just come in and do something like super late, but then eventually the cat just like fucks your shit up. The cat just like does not let you do anything. That was funny. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I don't think there's really much to talk about with that. So let's just move on. Might be a short episode this week, which is probably for the best because I'm fucking tired still.
It's definitely a low energy kind of day.
Yeah, we had a 4-day week, and I was already dreading it until we heard about whatever happened, and then I was coming into this next week. I'm like, all right, cool, 5-day week. The first normal week in a hot minute because we had 2 4-day weeks in a row, which sounds nice, but the short weeks also kind of just fuck up the schedule. But whatever. So we're going back into it. Walk in and like, I went in and I went to the fair on Sunday, and as I was eating, I hate. Everyone loves fair food. Fair food is so fucking expensive. It's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like the novelty of it wears off when you look at the prices. Personally. But here I'm walking around for like, just what's a fucking decent deal that I'm not like killing my wallet over? Cause like deep fried Butterfingers sound amazing. $9 though? No, I'm good.
Oh, holy hell!
Right? And so I look and there's chicken and fries basket for $18. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of money, but like that sounds like a full ass meal, and it was. I was eating it, and then like I ate the last chicken. You ever eat something and you're like, that didn't taste like it's gonna sit well.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened. I'm like, and I look at who I went with, and I'm like, they look at me like, you're all right? I'm like, I just feel like I'm gonna get sick. Like something just like I ate that and it just feels like it's gonna fuck me up later. Okay, whatever. And we're hanging out, we're doing this. I did a cool I don't know if it's cool. I don't feel bad about it, but like I showed people at the fair like my little stand at my classroom, the plush stand. And I was like, "Hey, this is what I do in my classroom. I'm a teacher. Can you cut me any deals on these plushes?" And I'm stocking up, and they all did. So that was shouts to the fair people. But I did that. I got myself my giant ass lemonade. Paid way too much for some games in there. But anyway, I didn't feel anything. And then like, this is gonna be in the gross territory, but who cares? You ever just like, I don't know if this happens to anyone else. I looked it up for the first time. When you burp and it's like, oh, my stomach's fucked up.
Yep.
It's that gross fucking taste that I just fucking loathe. My day's ruined when I taste that. I don't know what it is. I guess I looked it up. I looked it up finally after all these years of being on this planet. I guess it's like the acid reflux or whatever, or something in your stomach is just not processing right, and that's the taste you have. Sorry, gross, whatever. But that's the taste you have. So whenever I burp and I feel that, I know I'm gonna throw up later. Like I'm like, oh, cool. That's gonna be a thing. That morning, did that, and it just tasted a little bit. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, whatever. It is not that bad. Maybe it'll pass by. Whatever. Didn't think anything of it. Get myself a big-ass burrito from a place nearby I like to do every once in a while. Get to work. Roll up to work. I got to work an hour and a half early. It lingers in your throat. Yes, Steve, it does. I get to work an hour and a half early. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get in. I'm gonna get all my grading done. Let's knock it all out. Let's do this. Get in there, and I look at my phone. I'm like, oh shit, we have a meeting today. All right, whatever, cool. I'm like, oh, I saw a link on it. Oh, I'm not gonna think of it. And then I'm like, is it in person? It's in person. Roll up there. I'm like, oh fuck, this is the meeting that I was gonna present at for something. I forgot all about that. So here I am with someone else. Like we're hustling. Oh fuck, we forgot all about that today. So we're gonna talk to the entire staff about something. Oops. So we're doing that, and I tell you, so it was my turn. I was like one of the last to talk. Cool. My body must have like shook hands with my stomach or something, because like I got through my talk, and I messaged to a coworker. I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling good right now. I may need your help. And she's like, okay. I was like, I may need you to watch my class. She's like, okay. She sneaks her way over to me. And she's like, are you all right? I'm like, I feel like I'm sick. She's like,
I
yeah.
don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go check the bathroom. Went there, and the stall didn't open at first. No one was in there, but the stall didn't work. I'm like, okay, I guess someone's locked. I'm like, I walk back. I'm like, and I'm sweating now. I'm like, oh shit. And then everyone leaves, and I'm like, no, I need to go out and just yacked. Cool.
Oh.
And usually, like, after the first time, you're like, all right, I can live. My son was like, no, I'm not gonna be able to. So I walk over, make it like across campus to my classroom, and she's like, I got you. Like, do we need to do? Go take care of that. I'm like, cool. Yacked. And it was like, I was like sweating, and it was funny because I had like this nice shirt on, but it already kind of gave like people like Miami Vice vibes. But here I am looking sweaty with that. I'm like, dude, I look coked out right now. Like, I look like someone just straight out like not okay. And it was like not. I couldn't process for the next hour. I was just yakking, and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I need a sub, and I love my coworker. She's fucking amazing. She's like one of my best friends now. But she's like, I got you, and she did all the calls and got me the sub, and she's like, all right, did it. You're good. Papers on your door. Don't even worry about it. Let's get you. She's like, I will drive you home, and we'll figure out your car. I'm like, cool. We walk back to my classroom. Well, God bless one of my students. I love this kid, but he looks at me. He's like, no, don't tell me. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I'm sick. And he's on crutches. I'm like, what the fuck happened? He's like, some kid kicked me and fucked up my leg. Please don't tell me you're leaving. Please don't tell me you're leaving. I have to crutch my ass across campus. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. He looks at me. I'm sweaty. He's like, we usually fuck around, we'll joke around with each other, but he saw that I was like dying. He's like, are you okay? I was like, I'm not okay. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. He's like, no, you're okay. But just crutching his way. I'm like, I'm sorry. I feel bad. But I was like, what happened? He's like, a kid kicked me. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay. Anyway, but yeah, and then walked down the hall, and as we had a bag and everything, and then I like paused. I'm like, no, and then yacked again. And it was so loud that a teacher in the other bathroom over just came out like a little bit after me, and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I gotta go. I'm not okay right now. My stomach, I don't know if it's just like age, because it could be, we're at that age now where like our bodies are starting to prepare for us to decease eventually. We're past our prime, David. And I don't know if it's just age or if I just have pushed past my limits and I need to start eating healthy. Because like over the past year, worst stomach problems I've had.
Yeah.
And I know I hear people talk about like around in their 30s, like, I can't be eating this, I can't be eating that. And I'm like, what the fuck ever, man? Like, whatever. I'm like, no, I think there might be, it might be that time now where it's like that. But it could have been undercooked or raw. That's what I'm thinking too, because like, I knew when I hit that food that it was there. But like, younger me was built different. Younger me was like, whatever, I'll eat that shit and that's fine. Like, whatever. But like now it's like,
you have a Pepto and you walk it off.
Yeah,
like,
now it's like I'm out of commission. I'm fucked. And it's been like the last couple of years too, where there's been like stomach issues that have been like supreme. But I'm just wondering, like, I think I might be at that age where I gotta stop thinking I'm young, because I'm not. Those days are behind me.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. Anyway, I got on that subject because why again? It's been a long week. It's mostly what it is. It's been a long week, and actually there are a couple more tough days here ahead, but we go through them because we do what we do.
We have to.
Yes, sir.
That's life.
It is, unfortunately. That's oh yeah, but that's what I was saying is that it's been a long week because that's part of it. So there we go. I killed 10 minutes of a short podcast just telling that. David, there's been
Yo.
some little rumors lately with this Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
So, Pyoro is a Switch leaker, and here's the thing with Switch leakers is a lot of them are in the same friend groups, right? Um, and they all just kind of like echo one another, where it's like they just all kind of want that clout, which I understand wanting clout. I don't understand doing this fake shit for it because it doesn't fucking matter, right? Like that's it.
Yeah.
It means nothing. Like that means nothing. It's a waste of time. If you have to fake your shit to get clout, it's the most temporary, fleeting waste of time kind of clout. In which case, it's going to backfire and no one's going to like you. So it's like I don't understand I don't understand that process of it. I understand wanting the clout because dopamine and people like attention,
Yeah.
but I don't understand that extent of it. But Pyoro is a leaker who has been on par with like everything. He's been nailing a lot of it. Um, and they've they've been doing stuff like ever since like Nintendo or the direct earlier with Super Mario Wonder with that Mario RPG remake, even stuff from last year with Armored Core, Sama Amigo, with Yakuza. They've been nailing a lot of this stuff, but anyway, they've had a perfect track record so far. And they talk
Hmm.
about this there's a direct coming soon. Um they did uh they said soon. They haven't given a date, but they said soon. Now, to be fair, doesn't really matter because like that September's been a pretty popular month for directs.
Yeah.
Um, so that doesn't mean that much. But they haven't given details about what would be in it. And they said, let's say fans of a certain Mat Lab will be happy with the upcoming direct, meaning F-Zero, they have now said. So F-Zero is on the table. Um, they they've been pretty confident. They've been going into other leakers and just like saying the other leaker saying, "Hey, I know this is gonna happen," and he'll go and say, "Delete your account because you're wrong." And so I'm like, that's pretty ballsy to say, like quote tweet. So let's see how you do with that. They say there's remakes of a DS and a Wii game.
Hmm.
Apparently, the DS and Wii game are related according to Pyro, and he said it's not DK related. Okay, um, and that's about it. Let's see. They posted a Donkey Kong GIF.
Good old Yonky Dong.
Yeah, but they said it's not Donkey Kong. I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, that could be it. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Yeah, that might have been it. Okay, someone called it out. So it could be Mario vs. Donkey Kong because I think that is a DS and a Wii game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds about right then.
Probably
Uh,
do like a collection of them or something.
yeah. Uh, anyway, let's at this point in the Switch, so we're talking about that. Then there's the Switch 2 that got shown off, confirmed to get shown off at Gamescom.
Yeah.
It looks like specs are looking around. What did it say? A PS4 Pro is what people are saying,
Yeah.
which is not bad. Uh,
And it comes with DLSS and other upscaling technologies to allow it to further compete with other consoles.
and to future proof it essentially because it's gonna last for a while. I'm
Yeah.
hearing it's backwards compatible, which is good because you'd be insane to drop all Switch support with that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? That they announced the price? No, so it's not even announced. It's kind of getting shown off behind the doors. But I
Yeah,
kind of
basically a lot of journalists have had a chance to be hands-on with it. They had a updated version of Breath of the Wild 1 they were running 4K 60 with.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't see anything about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
How their impressions of that go?
From what little has been said about it, looks good.
Nice. Let's kind of talk about what we first see with the Switch too. I think that's kind of our way to go about this with the podcast. So let's reel it back. 2016. We're looking at the Switch. I'll never forget that it was Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 and the Switch both had trailers the same day.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions of the Switch?
It looked interesting. I liked that it was a hybrid kind of console.
It was fucking weird. It was wild when you saw that.
Yeah, because I basically got the Wii U towards like the tail end of its life. I think I got it like 2 years before they gave up on it.
So you were the seventh person to buy one.
Exactly. And I mean, I had fun with my Wii U for the short stint that I had it, but it's basically just because I got it when all of its games were out, really.
Yeah.
The only thing that was missing was the Zelda game for it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things that, I mean, I didn't have the same feeling of disappointment that everyone else did. So I'm like, wow, I mean, it plays all my Wii games, and it's got a decent little virtual console. And I actually like the weird controller component, too. I just wish it had an actual battery life and was actually replaceable.
It feels good. Like you've ever held the gamepad in a while? Like if you go back and hold it, ergonomically, it feels really good.
Yes. Which, speaking of which, if you haven't gone back and played it in a while, should be going and periodically booting it up just to make sure it still works. Because if it doesn't, then you have to do a whole console mod to revive it.
Yeah. No, mine went up when we were doing the Wii U closed shop thing. It's been getting plays here and there, so mine's fine. But yeah, no, it's an interesting console. But when the Switch was shown, it was kind of wild when you saw that. You're like, whoa! When like, it seemed so bizarre, and I'm gonna assume the exact same reaction happened to you when you first got it. You looked at the Switch screen, you're like, holy fuck, that thing is small.
Yes. Also, it was weird being a Switch owner because I also had mine at launch. And it was weird being a Switch owner in the beginning because everyone had that air of like, oh, well, it's probably going to be the same thing where this is going to have fuck all for games. And so everyone was trying to buy whatever game released because who knows what else we're going to get.
It was a dry launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people were buying everything until everything started coming out little by little. But yeah, and that thing was pretty much a Breath of the Wild console for everyone for the first like 3 months. I think Mario Kart eventually came out. Mario Kart came out a little bit afterwards, and then Mario Odyssey came out later that year. So I mean, ultimately, it was a banger kind of year for Switch. I mean, if you look at that, like 2 Game of the Year contenders, I'd say. But there was a bit of a dry spell right out the gate, which was interesting. But eventually, because I feel like it shouldn't have it to begin with, because I was thinking like ahead of time, I'm like, all Nintendo's developers are just folding into itself. So instead of having like the DS have a banger lineup and the Wii, everyone was just working on the Switch, which should like have stopgapped any.
Well, it technically wasn't. Because remember, originally they did the same thing to the 3DS that they did to the Game Boy Advance. We're like, oh, this isn't a replacement.
Right.
They will live in a happy ecosystem. So they still were supporting the 3DS for a while because they didn't even know if it was going to be successful or not after what happened with the Wii U.
They give everything a little bit of wiggle room just in case.
Yeah.
But so it was but eventually they did fold in, even then I thought there's still a little bit more gaps than I would expect with the Switch. But anyway, fast forward to where we're at now, and the Switch is massive.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we didn't get as many revisions as we could have with Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, because I feel, well, I mean, Nintendo either usually does like one revision or they just go without anything. And I think the 3DS is really the only time where we technically got more than one revision.
The Game Boy?
Game Boy Color is a whole different console.
Game Boy Advance?
The only revision it had was the Pocket version.
But the Game Boy Advance Micro?
That's one revision. No, it's two. That's right.
Advance
The
SP?
SP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that technically had two revisions.
And then Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color is a separate entity.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's close enough.
No.
They still play the same stuff.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance still plays the same stuff. You don't consider that a fucking revision of the Game Boy.
Either way, I even with the Wii technically had some revisions on there. They had two separate Wii revisions. They had that weird like internet only version of it.
Yeah, they had the one that got rid of the GameCube ports, and then the one that was the
Wii Mini,
the final breath. Yeah.
Wii U didn't. The Wii U was, but I mean, also the Wii U didn't sell shit. So, and 3DS got a hell of a ton.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah, I got a few because I got the original 2DS, got the XL, the original 2DS XL, then the new variants, and then the XLs and the new variants. So yeah, that one did get a fuck ton.
Yeah. Steve says my Switch had a couple of bugs when I first got it, but I was able to exchange it for a new one. Yeah, there's always every console. I feel like there's always some stuff. Shout out to Samuel having a Switch like I think 2 Wii U's out at launch. Yeah, and then DS had a couple. So yeah, I was surprised that the Switch didn't. At least with their big sales stuff, Nintendo likes to keep revising it and keep the sales strong. So I mean, that's a strong saying to say that like the Switch had like what technically two revisions, I guess.
It had really only one. I mean, it
really
had
only
the
one
under the hood one, where they changed the processor to make it so that way people couldn't really mod it as easy. But the only actual revision was the OLED model.
Yeah, so I mean, technically it's one, but I guess two if you want to be really technically about it. But not even the OLED wasn't the kind of revision that people were like frothing over to buy, right? Like they didn't really. I'm genuinely.
Oh, that's right. No, technically two, because the Switch Lite, where it's all in one. So yeah.
Oh, right. Whoops, forgot all about that thing.
Forgot. The one definitely no one was really rushing over to buy because who wants to get stick drift on a non-replaceable thing?
I don't understand. I know Gore got the Lite. I don't understand. I do not understand why. Still to this day, I don't understand why. But
well, it's tiny and it's all in one, and you don't lose the things.
I don't lose my things to begin with. But hey, so I mean, yeah, no, there's two, I guess. So I guess that makes sense. It just doesn't feel like because the 3DS, when you think about it, the 3DS has monster sales, but people have multiple 3DSs because of like even just color designs and all that too. Like people just buy them.
Yeah, and the Switch itself didn't really have any different looks. It's all been in the Joy-Cons, really.
Yeah, there've been a couple of docks, but the docks weren't that different enough to like warrant you to be like freaking out over, right? Like, I could see people want like a really cool like Zelda edition of that, but like the docks were just black. They're really toned down on a lot of their designs.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I wonder how much of it really was just ultimately due to part shortage, where they're like, we don't want too many SKUs out in the market, just make sure we keep everyone buys this, ensure we don't fuck up that revenue stream, and then maybe be a little bit more throughout for like the big things where it's like, here's your Animal Crossing one, here's your Mario one, you know, the things that we know guaranteed will make us money and make it worth the effort of making a separate SKU for it.
Right. But overall, yeah. So what are your expectations with this Switch 2?
My expectation is that it's going to be what we've wanted out of the Switch for the last couple of years, which is better hardware. That's all the Switch needed was a Pro model. And honestly, it could have kept going in all earnesty. And that's what I think this is basically going to be. It will be what they honestly had hoped the Wii U was going to be to the Wii. Of like, here is your proper successor. It does the same thing, but better. Here you go. And that's all it needs to be. That's all it should be, is just give us basically a beefier Switch, call it a day. You have found your perfect niche of a console. Don't change anything other than just make it beefier every time. Every 7-8 years, give us a beefier one, call it a day.
It's interesting though with this market now though, because like they've got competition with it.
Yeah, with the Steam Deck and with the Steam Deck clones like the ROG Ally and I can't remember what
Aya Neo.
HP's one. Yeah, the Aya Neo and things like that. Plus the classics like the GDP, the Win GDP for the more retro, literally just shove a laptop in a handheld form factor kind of style. It's different markets though, in the sense that it basically, when I look at those devices, what they do to in my brain is they replace the same market that like laptop gamers were taking up. Where instead of having to bring around a laptop and a controller and everything, it's now just all in one. So the way I have just kind of, at least from my own part of the community, have seen things, it's mostly just people going, well, I guess I don't need, my HP Omen or my fucking Acer Nitro or
do you
whatever.
think do you think these are overtaking a laptop market?
I think predominantly, more so than anything, it's carving into the laptop market for gamers. Everything that I've seen from the tech communities that I follow, that has pretty much been the consensus is, well, I don't need a gaming laptop anymore. I can just buy a cheap laptop that is just good enough for whatever I need to do for documents and shit while I'm traveling. But otherwise than that, this is basically now my portable gaming device.
Yeah, because I've had a few talks to people that are like trying to look for like a way to game on the go. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, why don't you just get a Steam Deck? It's cheaper. It probably run everything better than you would expect it out the gate, I think.
It's still one of those trade-offs that if you buy like a higher end gaming laptop, you're getting a lot better specs than the Steam Deck.
Yeah, but the comfort of it too is something you're gonna sacrifice because like yeah, you're gaming on the go, but like how on the go is it? Because you're not using your trackpad.
No.
Unless it's like something like small and indie, in which case you don't need that stuff. So
no,
like,
again, you're carrying a backpack full of accessories for it.
right? And at which point is that really appealing and versatile enough for you, other than you're just pulling out the Steam Deck?
I mean, I'm sure for a lot of people, they're of that mindset of this. It's the way I've always done it. Whatever, it doesn't bother me. But I know for certain a lot of people have Switch just because of the convenience of it.
And even
that's what the Switch is it's the console version of that, where we don't have a portable console anymore aside from basically the Switch. So that is where your Vita gamers, your Switch, your 3DS gamers, all are piling into, is just the Switch. And then
and even so, the Switch is still more convenient, just being that it doesn't have to deal with the DRM and the ways that Steam still has to, where you have to plan your airplane mode if you're going to be offline on that thing still.
Yeah,
which is a bummer still, but like I'm sure they'll figure it out in like a couple years, because this is a hit. The Steam Deck is a hit.
Yeah,
and that means that it's going to have the long-term support from Valve. So I imagine like in a couple years we'll have a lot of this stuff kind of like ironed out, but for now it's still a little bit of an issue. But yeah, and then there is definitely that market of like handheld, like I mentioned with my it wasn't the Miyoo Mini that I got. I forget which one I got. It might have been the Miyoo Mini. Yeah, it was a Miyoo Mini. With the Miyoo Mini, that thing being from a big online, probably like a TikTok thing, but I showed it to you, and you at first you were like, "Oh, that looks dumb. Why would you buy it? Because it looks like those dumb, really really cheap things you find off like Temu or Wish."
Yeah, like AliExpress or
yeah.
like
but
that.
actually, it's a really well built one. That gain popularity, that's actually really rock solid. Like I still like mine a lot. I think it's super fun to play like really classic games on. But that thing picked up a thing or a little bit of market too, because like you'll have those things sell out at MSRP really quick. Handheld's always gonna be a thing, which is cool. especially because mobile. You would think that it might have gone away because of just the dominance of phones, which also like for today, iPhone 15 Pro announced that it's gonna have Resident Evil 4 remake on it, which is interesting. Um,
And USB-C.
I know, right? We did it, boys. We're here. We're the future finally. Um, but yeah, like that's always interesting. Especially because now you can just connect a controller to your phone. So it's like people are like, why would you ever want to do that? Now I'm like, at this point, some people like cloud game on their phone. So like it's not
Yeah.
the most egregious thing now. Just hook a controller up to your phone, and that's same thing as like that's arguably less space than you're gonna have to carry with your Switch. Just throw a controller in your backpack and bust the thing out, click it to your phone, you're good. Um, Interesting where we're at right now with all that game stuff. But I'm interested for the Switch too because I wonder can they get away with just doing a beefier one? Do they have to do excuse me, do they have to do other stuff that makes it like um needs to stand out more though? Because
Yeah, non-drifting sticks.
you
Hall
would
effects control.
can we get those magnet sticks? Because that would be fucking
Yeah, the Hall
awesome.
effects.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Um,
Yeah, that should genuinely just be a staple of their controllers going forward. But yeah, no, I, here's the thing: it's Nintendo, so they're still always gonna try to find some way to add some goofy shit into
well,
it
they
that's a
do
little bit different.
they do that just because they like they throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
We all and I still do actually. We all thought HD Rumble was fucking wild, but nothing uses it because everyone's like, I'm just gonna leave it on the Switch. Like, what the fuck ever? Why do you need HD Rumble, right? And I get that.
yeah.
It's a cool feature, but they thought, oh, let's try it, let's see if it works. No one cared about it. Cool, take it out. Like no one needs it.
Which is the same, and that's why I get frustrated because that's basically the same of like every novelty that you try to shove into a controller.
Right.
Like with the fucking pressure triggers on the PS5 controller. Every so often, a game randomly uses them. Like, oh, that's kind of neat, and then I just forget about it because it's kind of a dumb thing long term.
I
And
actually hate.
all it does is just make some
I-
games less enjoyable when you can't find an official controller.
I disagree. I don't like the pressure triggers. Like every time I feel them, I just get kind of annoyed. I want to turn them off. Um, I understand the idea was like really cool and novel at first, but uh, it just doesn't make sense to me. Especially if I'm playing like competitive shooters, I just absolutely do not want them. Um, but like I get that too. It's like yeah, it's dumb that they would do that and then just reel it back. But it ultimately comes down to is everyone doing that? No, then who the fuck cares? That's kind of where it's at with that. Um, you know what? I remember. You know what I kind of want to play right now? I don't know why. I want to play that
Hmm.
Dead Rising Wii. Uh,
The shop till you drop one.
yeah, the Chop Chili Drop, right?
Yeah, shop till you drop. That's it.
And it was the one that was based off the Resident Evil 4. Oh, was it Godfather also? Is that why he got that on there? I forget why. Yeah. Godfather and Dead Rising both worked off the RE4 port engine. So they already fortified those games where you kind of walk around and you just kind of aim this thing. And I heard they both were like really cool because of that. I think Godfather more so, just because Dead Rising never had to reel it back because it wasn't a 360. But yeah, I don't know why. I definitely want to try those. Um, I get those random bursts where I just want to like finish video games. I just don't. I can't. I can't. Um, yeah, it can go in a few different ways when it comes to this next Switch, but uh,
I don't know, cause like I don't think it needs any weird gimmick or any weird shit. The only thing I would potentially do if you're gonna go the route of giving it some gimmickiness is if it were me, uh dual screen it.
no, nah.
The only reason I say that is because then bam, there you go. You have your backwards compatibility option for DS, 3DS, and Wii U stuff.
I mean, I get it, but no.
Not necessarily like physically dual screen it where you have like a bezel going through it or something, but have that be a feature where it's designed to go ahead and just cut off a portion of the screen if you're playing those backwards compatible style games.
Or rather, there's a way to sync it to the dock without having to be connected.
Yes, and that is one other thing I would want is the option for not a full dock like the Switch currently is, but something that's more of a connector. Basically like a Game Boy Link cable where it just slaps into the top and then there you go.
What if it did it wirelessly somehow?
That would be laggy as shit.
I mean, if they were, depending on how they were able to do it, I think
There's a reason why HDMI is not wireless. I mean, it is, but it's fucking terrible.
No, like it would still be a dedicated connected to a port. You know what I'm saying? Like the dock was still connected to the HDMI that's on there.
But still, there's a reason why nothing that is audio video is, aside from headphones in immediate capacity, is wireless. It's laggy as shit.
Not that bad. Like the Wii U wasn't bad.
But it's had a super short range.
Right, but it's
You
been
got more
it's
than
been
10
10
feet
years
from your TV and it was vomiting on itself.
Yeah, but it's been 10 years.
No, it has not evolved that much.
I don't know. If there was a way to do that wirelessly, you would do your dual screen that way. That's the way I see it, where you have like your Switch is your screen, and then there's another one up there. Your TV. That'd be the only dual screen I'd be cool with if we were able to somehow link it that way.
That's why I'm saying you just make it a little attachment that goes at the top.
Sure. Or just technology. We can go to the moon. Why can't we fix the lag?
Because it's fucking hyper expensive to do so.
Yeah, we went to the moon. Fuck it.
Yeah, and that required infinitely less complex technology than what it requires to fucking transmit video over Wi-Fi.
Whatever. Hey, speaking of Valve a little while ago, David, Steam turned 20.
Hell yeah.
You can almost drink. I just want to say Steam turned 20. I was like, I saw an article pop up about it. How do you feel about Steam in general?
I mean, I've been using it for, let me check my Steam account here. I think I'm at like 14 years. That my account's old. 13 years.
How do you feel?
I've had it in my Steam.
How do you feel about it also being literally the epitome of everything you hate, though? Isn't that wild? Like you hate the idea of Steam at a core level within yourself, but like it's so well made, you can't knock it.
Steam was the necessary evil to get us to where we are.
Sure.
Is the way I look at it. Because I do hate that it is a DRM layer to get to your purchases. You know, you go on GOG, you buy it, you don't have to use their Galaxy launcher. You can just be like, all right, give me my fucking installer, Merry Christmas, move on with my day. And Humble Bundle gives you a lot of DRM free options aside from that. And so I basically try to buy all my stuff when I'm actively buying PC games, anywhere but Steam now. But it's one of those things that ultimately, at the end of the day, it was the step we needed to walk away from this shitty bullshit DRM of CDs. Because companies were doing all kinds of shit to make it so that way, you need to have this disc, or you need to have this physical object that came with the game. Like fucking Secret Monkey Island is like one of the more infamous ones, where you had a literal pirate decoder in the box, and if you ever lost that, there was a bit of DRM that wouldn't let you get through the game without it. And so companies were always doing such dumb, wild shit. And so Steam was like, what if we just let people just download the games and
you had to be
put
on the
your
service.
DRM in that? Yeah. And so it was like, fine, all right. So we needed something like Steam.
It's convenient. It's all in your spot. It's in one space too. Because I think the idea, PC gaming just gets too unorganized if it gets to a point that I have to keep loading each individual game as is. I think.
Yes, and especially back in the day when drive speeds were shit, when hard drive sizes weren't as large as they are now, you were constantly swapping disks, uninstalling, moving programs around. It was an absolute fucking nightmare.
Whereas Steam came in and said, hey, here's your library, uninstall, reinstall whenever you want. It's just gotta click that thing there. So it made it easy.
Or even better, just go ahead, put your library on a spare drive, and then just point us to that. Or if you want to migrate, let us back up your data to a different drive, and then just copy that over.
Right. When did you first get Steam?
Will my Steam badge say that? October 29th, 2009.
Huh.
So I will be 14 years this year.
Where does it say that? Or where does it say that, where you got it?
If you look at your Steam badges, there's a years of service badge that says that.
On your member says May 12, 2010. That sounds like kind of late too. I feel like I did that a little earlier, but I mean, so it goes. So we never had to deal with the whole Half-Life thing. Nearly did we have to deal with that.
No,
But
because
that
I was still predominantly console gaming for a lot of that.
smart gaming, you mean?
I mean, I did like my RTSs, so that was still a PC only thing, really. But
How many games do you own?
on Steam,
Yeah.
library, home, show me my 1,975.
Okay. I thought you would have had a little more than that, honestly.
Let's see here. I own 865 DLC.
Okay. You'd about double me on each of them because I got 1,073 games owned, 482 DLC. How big is your wish list?
I think it's like 600 some odd items.
Jesus Christ.
Because every day I do at least one run through of the discovery queue.
Every day?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. How many of those have you completed? Asked Steve.
Fucking. Let me actually pull up my game collection thing here, and I can tell you. Collectors.
I wouldn't know. I'm sure there's a thing that told me on here, like which one you completed, like achievement wise. I wouldn't
No,
know.
Steam doesn't give you any info like that.
I thought it did.
Sticks. Games completed. Wait, no, that's my wish list. Never mind. My actual collection.
Let's see, badges.
So I own a grand total of 3,000. Oh, why is Oh, wait, shit. All right, let's try that again. Wasn't giving me everything. 3,000. I'm just shy of 3,900 games. I don't want to do the math on that because it splits it up into no and yes categories. Of the 3,900 games I own, I have beat 790 of them.
There you go. That's actually not a bad ratio.
And I have 3,088 left to beat.
I still have my Steam and Skype have just never had my picture changed. I've always kept it the same on Steam. People got mad at me at some point, just I never changed it, and I think just now Skype is gonna forever stay that way because we're never using it. But I think I'm gonna carry on that tradition with Steam, where it's still the same picture of me. Like, shit, that was
with the zapper.
No. It's like me with like some MacBook filter over covering my face, and that thing is probably about 14 years old. Holy shit, that picture's older than some of my students. I hate that I said that. Fuck. Oh fuck, our Steam account's older than they are. God damn it. Fuck. Get us out of here.
Up in class.
Get us out of here. No, they can't look at that.
Class tomorrow.
I loaded Steam up in class. Let's see how long someone takes someone to fucking notice. Fuck. God damn it. But my bio on there is still the 50 Cent link that he had, or he just one day he just tweeted out this really gaunt looking picture of him. He was just like thin as hell, and all he said was the blackout has come. My enemies will not survive me.
That's where that's from.
Yeah, I thought that was a stupid. I'm gonna see if I can quote that. Let me see if I can just I'm gonna Google search that. Maybe that's a quote. I've never Google searched this in my entire life. I think it's been my bio for 14 years. Let's see. No, even. Let's see. Is it maybe just no period in there? No, maybe it's on Twitter. No, I think it's just gone. Is that no? Never mind. That's an original for me now. Yeah, I can't find any. That's I know I for a fact. That's how I found it. Me and Samuel found that. That was the funniest thing I've ever read. The Blackouts
It's
come. My
all you
enemies.
now.
Yeah, that's a it's an original quote all there. Um. Oh, I was looking at the student library stuff. I did play Keep Talking Nobody Exclusive with some of the students. They thought that was fun. And then actually I'm
It is a
using
fun but exasperating game.
yeah. And I'm actually playing Gone Home with them right now. In preparation to appreciate Edith Finch coming up.
Mm.
I was gonna just originally just skip Gone Home and go straight to Edith Finch, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe if they I feel like jumping into Edith Finch as their first major walking sim is kind of like just jumping into like
It sets the bar too high.
yeah, not that Gone Home sets it low, but Gone Home's a really good starter to kind of like get to it. You know, you can't eat fine cuisine
It
without
gives you
knowing
that
what that is,
baseline.
right? Like
Yeah,
you can't.
it gives you a solid baseline.
That's like going in like I hate fish food, but like the best example I think is like that's like going in and have like the best fucking seafood you ever had, but never having sushi, right?
Yeah.
Like you gotta try some of that stuff, and it's still very good, but like before you get to that fine shit, you gotta try some of what got you there to get with. Um, so yeah, we're using Gone Home as that first, but they've been enjoying it, and I hyped them up a lot because they were, you know, you tell teens where to play video game and it's not pew pew shoot video game guns. Um, and then Gone Home is also kind of funny where it's like you think it's a horror game at first, but it's just really not. Have you ever played Gone Home?
Maybe
So
I
uh,
have it. I don't remember if I played it or not.
Gone Home is you show up to your old house and you don't know what happened, like no one's there.
Yes, and then depending on what you interact with, it kind of changes the way the narrative flows in the ending you get.
Not really. Never, the ending's always the same. Um,
All right, so maybe I'm thinking of something that's a little bit different then.
Probably. There's no never like it's a walking sim, but it's a loose in the fact that like you can kind of explore whatever you want at your own pace. Um, think of almost like Edith Finch, but no big what do you call it?
Oh, I'm
Vignettes.
outright confusing it with a game just simply called Home.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. With no vignettes, but instead you just get a lot of stuff to read and like it'll have like audio logs and stuff like that too, and it's all about you looking where your sister went and what happened to her while you
Gotcha.
were
So it's
away.
kind of like Tana Light then.
I don't know what that is.
Gotcha.
Um, but the funny thing is because you'll load that and it's like you show up at that house like 1 o'clock in the morning and it's like stormy outside, the lights are always flickering, and so it feels like a horror game. Like you feel like you're gonna get scared. Um, and so someone saw that one of the students played and they pushed the crouch button, and one of the students start freaking out like, "Holy shit! There's a crouch. We're gonna have to fucking hide." And I was like, "That's a fair, that's a statement, but no, you're good." But yeah, so I'm prepping up for Edith Finch, which I'm very excited to go through. You all right?
We got some breaking news, but I want to read through it to make sure I understand it first.
Microsoft got bought by Nintendo.
Exactly. How did you know?
Shit, that face. All right, breaking news potentially coming up here. This is this from Wars
Okay.
4 or something?
So the reason, no, I mean, it may have been retweeted by him, but
Unity?
the original tweet is from, yeah.
Okay, so
So they're doing a price hike, which, all right, yeah, whatever, that makes sense. But they're doing a runtime fee tied to a player's installation of a game. The new plan, developers who use Unity's free tier of development services would owe Unity 20 cents per install once their game hit thresholds of 200,000 downloads and earned 200,000 of revenue. Developers paying over 2,000 a year for Unity Pro plan would have to hit higher thresholds. The new free system will begin 2024.
new fee,
Yeah.
not new free.
Yeah, so basically, this is fucking developers straight in the ass, where they're saying after a certain point, anytime someone installs your game, it's gonna charge you for it.
Is it? But
Fucking what?
if it earns enough money too, though, right?
Or if it earns enough
Oh,
money,
it's
where then it's
and
like, yes.
so
No, I think it's or.
I'm looking at. Hold on. Look at the source because the website I'm looking at doesn't say it. Doesn't say. It right.
Okay, yeah, no, it is 200,000 downloads and earn in revenue.
Yeah.
Still though, that is fucking, especially on the heels of fucking goddamn what's it there, Epic Game Store being like straight up, hey, for the first few months, you get all the revenue. Fuck it.
If you're exclusive to them.
If you're exclusive to them, but still, they're willing to be like, hey, fuck it. First few months, all revenue goes right to you.
There's not much lawsuits, but I don't know. Is that shitty? Yeah, but the fact that you have to earn that much money too, I feel like is
I think
fair.
200,000 though is like
depending on how big your team is.
I was gonna say it depends on how big your team is and how little of a project you're making, because that's gonna basically make it so that way. Obviously, AAA's are never gonna bat an eye at this. This will never be a problem for them. But this is gonna make it that like that Kickstarter level game where it's like, you know, a small group of a few people trying to work on a game together. This could potentially basically make it so that they don't want to use the Unity engine at all, because their little Kickstarter game that just gets successful enough to basically make the game now is going to be perpetually fucked going forward with it.
I'd have to look at the statistics of it. I'm curious as to how often games plateau at 200% or 200,000. If a game plateaus at 200,000, that kind of sucks. But I would imagine that games are on either end of it. Either you're not making that much at all, or you have made beyond 200,000. I could see I could see 100K being a pretty easy plateau for many. 200K seems like once you hit 200K, because you're thinking about that. Like let's look that in perspective when you're 20,000. I mean, obviously without sales tax, but you're looking at 20,000 downloads for your game at $20 a pop.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is it's still based on the fact that it's not saying per like someone buying it, they're increasing it. It's per anytime someone installs the game.
Sure.
Just stop. Full stop. So someone could go ahead and just spend an afternoon uninstalling and reinstalling your game and just fucking cost you money.
I feel like there's probably some sort of I'm looking at this thing over here and it looks like so it's the update is only initial installation of a game triggers a fee. And that's Sans demos. That makes it Sans demos and Game Pass.
That makes it a little
if someone
better.
wants to fuck you over, then they have to do a lot of fucking work to fuck you over. Like that you're looking at a lot of different like IPs or something or different accounts.
No, you just literally a batch script to go ahead hit the Steam installer over and over if it was the way I was thinking.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that's if you can catch initial install, I imagine that should be somewhat identifiable. Plus, again, if a game's been targeted at that point, either it's making a lot of money or not at all, in which case I just don't feel like it's going to be affected.
I think conceptually it's still fucking gross. Like, especially considering on the heels of what fucking Epic is doing, considering that even Steam is kind of relenting a little bit on some of their things. I think that this is not the time to be trying to be hyper fucking greedy like this.
Let's see.
I mean, hell, fucking Unreal Engine 5 even went ahead and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna go ahead and make even more shit just free longer. Fuck it.
Wait, what? Hold on, this thing is more fucked. Okay. What's happening? April says, explain real quick.
Yeah,
James, or sorry. Hold on. Oh, my shit got fucked. They might buy an eye out of greed. I could use some rather nonsensical laws being there. That's the rule of the day. It seems like maybe not universally, but tons of greed in tech business companies at the moment record
Yeah,
profits and
everyone wants free
layoffs.
tendies.
So,
It's
fuck, hold on. My shit's getting fucked up right now. My mind's breaking. Okay. But an extra fee will be charged if a user installs a game on a second device, say a Steam Deck owner after installing a game on a PC.
Oh yeah, so anytime that there's any so basically anytime there's a hardware configuration difference, it'll unless it caches to CPU, basically, it's gonna go ahead and just always identify that as there you go. So you could go ahead, scrub whatever cache is being saved to your system for that, and still do it then.
Explain what's
and
going
just
on
see it as a new device.
to A Pepperoni real quick. I'm reading some of this now.
All right. So A Pepperoni, TLDR is basically that Unity has decided to change their terms of service for game developers for next year. And they're basically making it so that way after 200,000 downloads and 200,000 sales of your game, they charge developers every time someone does an initial install of a game to a new device.
So they said games offered for charity or included in charities will be exempt from the fees. Game Pass and other subscriptions, it's the fees are charged to distributors, so the developers off the hook for that, which may fuck them over actually if that's not just an exempt thing. It's like, okay, well there might be something on there. Runtime fees will not be charged for installation of game demos. They estimate only 10% of Unity developers will wind up paying any fees. I have a pet peeve with that shit all the time. I hate when people say, well, it's fine because only this many percent of people are affected. Then why does it matter? Right?
Yeah, then why do it?
I hate that shit with Xfinity doing that, where it's like, well, only like 3% of our users go over the bandwidth cap that we have on here. So that's why I'm like, then why the fuck are you charging 3% of the people then? If it's only 3%, then it's not a big deal. Then who the fuck cares? Why do you? It's obviously not that much money if it's 3% of the people that you're charging, right? So fuck off. Like that's a dumb thing. I understand what you're trying to say with it, but it's not as smart as you think it is.
Exactly.
Let's see. Quote. Our core point with this is simply to make sure that we have the right value exchange so we can continue to invest in our fundamental mission to make sure that we can deliver the best goods for people. It's not fun to get a bunch of angry feedback on any particular day, and I think that is us needing to clarify some of these points. We're listening and continue to make sure that we deliver the points the best we can. I can see this falling through. I can see this getting enough backlash that people will say that they back up.
I saw someone mention that Hoyoverse, the people behind like Genshin and shit, threw up a fit about that. So yeah, I could see if someone like Hoyoverse then throws their weight behind, but now get fucked, we'll move to something else. Because that's going to be the only thing that actually makes them change their mind, is like large companies think, nah, fuck you, we'll go elsewhere.
Yeah.
The Unreal Engine 5 is looking pretty good right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, it sucks. Unity's always been the cool one that I always thought I wanted to look into if I ever wanted to do anything fun on the side.
I would either do something in RPG Maker or I'd outright go Unreal Engine. I would never do any of these other little engines.
Fair.
Unity's great for the idea of being able to just like buy a bunch of shit and slap it together until you can learn a lot of the skills you need. But if you're doing that, just get RPG Maker and then have a lot more complexity and fun with it.
Like that Only Up game.
Yes, which sad day. Rest in peace. Another Flappy Bird situation.
Yeah, I heard that was like a bunch of a bunch of stolen assets that just got crammed together and sold.
Oh, that's actually what happened with it. I thought the guy just shut it down because he was fucking freaking out from all the attention the game was getting, like the Flappy Bird guy did.
Negative attention because of that. Like it was getting mixed, but
gotcha.
like a bunch of it was that too. In which case they had to like go back in and fix it. And then yeah, that was the case for that. So.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about that then. If it was legitimately just a bunch of stolen assets, then nah, get fucked.
It was a game, but it was a lot of that. People were calling him out for that too. In which case, that's how it turned out for that. But anyway, 20 cents per installation is kind of big. I think that's kind of my thing. If it was like bringing that down another tenfold. If it's like 2 cents per installation, okay, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. Oh, I would have seen this if I just looked at the rest of the thread I was searching down. New Nintendo patent suggests Switch 2 may solve Joy-Con drift. Good for them.
Hell yeah. Imagine that. They solved it by using fucking 30-year-old technology.
Let's see. Oh, the judge issues a legal permit ban against that guy that was cheating in Destiny 2.
What?
500K judgment against him.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Let me pull up the actual story again, because this is a little older one. So someone was going in there and cheating and fucking up the game for Destiny 2 for a lot of people. And so Bungie decided, you know what? Oh, let's see. April says, gotta go internet screw me over about watch stream. Also, I'm making some progress with the roster. Hell yeah, Pepperoni.
Hell yeah.
Well, we're excited to see that. If you want to talk about that again. And so Bungie, you know how Bungie does that thing where they done it with that other guy where it's like, you know what? Full force on one guy because you gotta prove the point, right? You can't let him get away. Make your statement. And so they decided straight up, just like one of the cheaters guys that was fucking over the game. They said, you know what? Let's just go all out and just blitz this guy. And judge ruled in their favor. So 500K lawsuit and they're permabanned, like legally permabanned. Cool.
Interesting.
Stop cheating games. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Let's see.
Like, truly, if you have to cheat at a multiplayer game, like, why are you fucking wasting your time? Like, it can't be fun for you. You're having to cheat in order to play it. Like, fucking find some other hobby. Like, cheating against a single-player game, who gives a fuck? No one. That only hurts you. But if you're fucking with other people's enjoyment of an experience, fucking get a real hobby. Like, you don't like the thing, clearly.
Or you just suck at good.
Yeah, like I said, they don't like the thing. They like that they'd get good.
Let's see. I've hit Trivia in the chat. Hell yeah. April said it got fixed as soon as I was about to head out, so I got to keep listening. Hell yeah. We're about wrapping up here in a little bit.
Wrap these nuts.
Got him. I think that's about it. Oh, Aggro Crab released statement on the impact of the new pricing. Let's see. Okay, so Aggro Crab was upset because they didn't say that Game Pass was exempt. So they really probably should have came out and said a lot of this stuff right ahead of time. So they were pissed about that because yeah, there's 25 million Game Pass subscribers. That would have fucked them over pretty bad. But that's fine. I guess that.
I'm also curious how they're gonna track the charity one. Like, I'm guessing they might have to for license. Yeah, like that's exactly what I was thinking. Because, all right, how are you tracking? Is it just that any key purchase through Humble Bundle is going to be that? Because you don't have to donate technically any of the money to charity. You have the option. I certainly do. I always set my slider to just be all money goes to charity. But it's still one of those things that technically you can still slide it to all money to devs, all money to Humble Bundle. There's variances there. So how do you prove that it's for charity?
Oh, God damn it. I was scrolling through and I saw David Jaffe. He's talking about Baldur's Gate 3. If this game was out when I was 12, I never would have left the house. By the way, now that I know how to do this, can they expect anyone else to give a shit about armor in Baldur's Gate 3? Goodness. Just post just two of his girl characters just naked. Just frolicking around, just naked. One's purple, just completely naked. Oh, God damn it.
What a shad.
Hey man, that's RPGs. Role play the way you want. Yeah, on Xbox Live Online, you can record it in game chat and report it now by sending it in. Yeah, I saw that too. I understand people want to keep their trash talking. I get it. I was a Halo 2 kid. I get it. I don't need to anymore. I mean, I don't know. I don't trash talking games really. Like, The way I put it, someone was arguing in a thread, and the way I put it, because some guy was like raging out how pissed they were about this, and I get it, but then I came in there, I'm like, you know what? All you need to do, a simple teabag is like all you need to let someone know you're better than them, right? Like I feel like that a teabag says a million words in all sorts of languages that you don't need to
It's
say.
universal.
Yeah, it's universal. You don't need to say whatever you want. Uh, Trevi says, I did when I was a teenager, talk trash. Yeah, I get that. I did too. But
Yeah,
like,
everyone in their teen years. That is the online gaming experience.
right,
Is being a shitbag as a teenager.
exactly. I guess that's a part of puberty. I feel like. Uh, but I don't know. I think now just like I get so much more out of like killing someone and just like the idea that you kill someone, you push the thumbstick over their body and just rage. That's all it does. It just causes a rage. It's just that's it's like my it's like a fine wine in my palate where I'm like, you know what, that's what's truly satisfying. Not like as soon as I see someone saying like get fucked or something like that in the chat, I'm like, you must be upset. Are you all right? Oh man, I love it. That's what I personally don't mind. Everything else, I'm like, I get why you people would be upset at that. I'm fine. I don't care. Be better. Kill them. Teabag them. No, you don't need it. You say less. Dave, can you believe they're gonna remove all these self-serve soda machines out of McDonald's in the next 10 years?
The fuck are you talking about?
McDonald's reportedly plan to remove self-service soda machines from all U.S. stores over the next 10 years.
Huh.
It's unfortunate.
That day.
I can go for a large blue Powerade right now, actually. That sounds really nice. I don't know why. It just does. What the fuck? Why? I don't know. I can imagine probably maybe sanitary issues. Maybe people,
Oh yeah, they're a nightmare for sanitary problems.
right. And then also having to make sure people don't just come in there with like bags and just fill them up, I guess. There was someone I saw a while back where they made this whole, there was an engineer student, they made this whole contraption how to like fill up liters and liters of Baja Blast. He would walk up with this backpack that had like a secret compartment that he was able to string out and just connect to the Baja Blast with, and you just held that shit down. Like,
And he had a Baja Blast.
can you imagine being the worker there? You're like, what the fuck? I just replaced this shit yesterday. Oh man. Axeman made a really great video on trash talking. Basically, it boiled down to keep the trash talk, but don't make it personal. Yeah, I get that. Again, I get that. Like, yeah, if the second you tell someone to leave this world, that's a bit too much. Like saying you suck at this game, that's fine. But I think if it gets to a point where like where your trash talk is getting egregious, like come on, dude.
And honestly, it doesn't have the same impact if you're not just trash talking with friends. Like if you're literally just trash talking a stranger, that's not you trash talking at that point. That's you getting fucking mad.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I don't know. I disagree a little bit. Like there's times where I'm like, I, I need a little bit of chaos in my life. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I'm a person like if things are too peaceful in my life. I don't feel good about it. I need to stir some shit up, and what better to stir shit up with than like a random stranger online? I get it. Like I said, I've done this over Twitter all the time, especially Republicans now. Which, by the way, I whenever my students forget their Chromebooks, I have like three laptops. I have my MacBook, I have my gaming laptop, and then I have my work laptop. I have three different laptops there. Huh?
fucking Chromebooks, such a. Ugh. I could go on a rant about those.
Sure.
Continue.
So I have all that, right? And then if a student forgets their Chromebook, all right, whatever. Use my work laptop. I let them use my work laptop. That way, if they break it, the worker replace it.
Yeah.
Whenever I always turn on a private browser for them. That way they can like log in their shit and I can leave my shit logged in. Every once in a while they forget and they click and they start like Google searching on my account. Nothing. It's about to say something weird, but something I get annoyed at. Nothing weird, but like there's a lot of younger students that have very conservative views, which no, you don't.
Yeah, at that point you're basically puppeteering, not puppeteering, mimicking everyone around you.
Yeah. So like I'm like, why? I hate that every time I load up a fucking thing on my work laptop, it's just like, you won't believe what Biden did this time. I'm like, who the fuck is looking this up? Stop looking at my computer that way. It's so fucking annoying. I'm like, it's swear to God, it's ridiculous that I don't know. I don't get it. Even on this side, when I was like seeing like, you won't believe what Trump did next, I'm like, all right, I'm sure he did something stupid. Whatever, move on. I don't know what is enthralling. Like, oh my God, like you won't believe that Biden did this. You won't believe what Democrat. I'm like, holy fuck! Like, who the fuck has time for all that shit? That wants, like, cares enough to do all that.
Students,
But
and
like,
weirdly boomers.
but like, that's what frustrates me the most. I'm like, you don't have your own opinion. You don't. You can't formulate an opinion. I couldn't formulate an opinion when I was your age. I was just parroting what a lot of my friends or what the media was around me was saying, which was like Obama back then, right? Um,
Yeah.
I was parroting that. So like, you don't believe this. And then some of them, when they write their little arguments, they like write like Trump should be president again because this and that. I'm like, you don't believe that. Like, do me some research because you don't believe that. It's like that thing I mentioned a while back with one kid was writing about how much he liked what's that fucking Andrew Tate. I'm
Oh
like, I'm
fuck
like,
yeah.
I'm like, you don't know that. Do some research. Oh, I found out he beats his girlfriend. Do you want to be? Are you gonna beat your future girlfriend? No. Then why do you want to be like him? I don't know. Cool. Good talk. Like, I don't know.
Congratulations, you realize you don't. And you just
Congratulations, you've matured by realizing that person's a piece of shit. Um, I could do it with Andrew Tate because I can subtly hint he's a piece of shit. I can't do that about politics because I would get in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more or less. I just wish you wouldn't affect my goddamn algorithm. Every time I'm on here, every time someone fucks my algorithm on something, I get so mad. If anything, every time people start looking up stuff on my YouTube account, I'm like, stop it, because it's just gonna fuck with my
Well,
algorithm.
then just don't ever share a house with other people because that has happened to all my algorithms. Where
I'm like,
all of a sudden I get like weird ASMR shit, and I'm like, where the
you
fuck is
switch
like,
your
oh.
account. That's what I tell people. I'm like, whenever
No, YouTube and all that, it's not even by using the same account. It's being on the same network. It sniffs the network traffic. So you don't even have to share accounts. As long as the activity is still going through the same network, it'll go ahead and start recommending you stuff from the other person's thing.
See, I've never
Just
had that
because-
issue. Maybe it's because I also pay for YouTube. You pay for YouTube?
No.
Oh, I do. So I mean, that might be catering towards me. Let's see. A lot of good can happen when asking folks to really explain their position in detail. Do you know what? Honestly, I'm not here to change the world at this point. I don't give a shit. Every once in a while, I thought it'd be kind of fun just to like gauge someone. And to be fair, I'd say about like five or so years ago, it was actually easier to talk to the right. I'd say when it came to conversating, like it was actually I can get a conversation out of them and we go there. I remember there was one time some fucking crazy woman on Twitter saw my more centrist view, and they claimed that I was a fake person, that my name was fake and my pictures were fake, in which I had to remind them, I'm like, my account is twice as old as your account, and if you think I've been putting this facade up for over 10 years, you're insane. And they stopped replying at that point. But yeah, I agree. If you were able to like nurture a conversation out of that, you'd find a lot of interesting stuff. Like there's times people realize, and if it's a good conversation, they can be like, you know what, actually that does make sense. Like that I don't realize that, or something like that. And that's cool. Otherwise, sometimes it's just fucking no reason.
No, and honestly, you get to a certain point in life where the more you try to have those genuine, engaged conversations, you learn pretty quickly the people that are going to be open to having that kind of conversation versus like, all right, let's start to exchange our personal ideas. Nope, this is not going to go nowhere. All right, thank you for your time.
Yeah, it's the ones
and
that
on.
either say do your own research, even though they propose the research thing to begin with, or it's immediately just calling you a fucking idiot, and you're like, all right, cool.
Or just out of the gate, just the wildest shit you ever heard of, where it's like, oh no, you're too far down. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, which, man, this is a world, huh? Let's see. Privilege again, and I say that as a lefty type. I feel you. Ibrahim said, I think you can while acknowledging the right and wrong. Obviously not the case to Tate. Yeah, so I don't know. I would say the same thing on either side, honestly. I'd say like
yes.
if Now, granted, let's be fucking as real as we can without being hyper political at all. There's a lot of times we woke up in the morning where Trump was saying some shit. We were like, I hope we don't get nuked today.
Yes.
So I mean that's fair. Comparatively to Biden just doing whatever shit job he's doing, which is
literally
also fair.
sleeping on the job.
Yeah, and I get it. Biden's not a great president. I thought that was a bad choice either. But like, hey, what can you do?
The two options that we had, fuck it. He was quite literally the lesser evil. I hate Biden. I'm a registered Democrat. I hate Biden.
Can we elect someone that's not 90,000 years old? I think that's our first progressive role as a country.
Can we please have someone creating policies? Yes.
Term limits.
Fuck, yes, please.
Term limits.
People should not be writing policies when they do not reflect this populace.
People should not be writing policies coincidentally with their will and testament.
Yeah.
Like, come on. There's a lot of shit that's wrong with this country. But yeah, I think term limits and there needs to be a max age for shit, I think. I think the way we do...
but that's ageist. Fuck off.
I dare...
That's such a disingenuous response.
I dare someone to say that to me one day. Yeah, no, there's a lot of shit that's up. Yeah. Dude, it's a weird week. It's been one of those weeks. Hopefully by this time next week everything will be dim. We're gonna end it here because
yeah, I think at this point we're low on steam.
Yeah, we're talking term limits in the fucking podcast. I think we're out. It's an hour and a half. I like that size of the podcast. An hour and a half kind of podcast is spicy. If you guys feel like it ran its course, I was letting you guys stretch it a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Monday with Final Fantasy VII, unless something changes, which I have another crazy couple days coming up here because of stuff. So if need be for some reason, we're gonna extend it just because like this is something out of something was expected, but everything should be fine. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Adrian reaches YouTube term limit. Yeah, I fucking have. I'll probably post the roster when you guys start streaming again. Oh yeah, please, that'd be super fun. I'd love to see it next episode. Privilege Junkie, appreciate you, Steve, Roni.
Hell yeah,
thank you guys. Like hanging out, this is fun. Anyway, we're gonna head out. Peace, stream.
Later.